love lives here.
So here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, we are working with the annual theme of timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And this month, we've been working with the theme of going further together. And today we conclude that series, but just because we're concluding the series on going further together does not mean that we stop going further together, right? That this is a continuous evolution and a continuous journey that we are on, and we are doing it together, and we are taking each other and we are helping each other grow and develop and move forward further together. We move love forward together. So today, the inspiration when we were creating the themes for this year and the themes for the particular talks, today's inspiration came from Rumi. And so the talk title is, I'll Meet You There. I like that. Everybody was like, ooh. Already you're like, ooh, this is yum. It's so good to have you back. I don't know. The past few weeks have been like, hello, but ooh, this is different today. This is delicious. I'm liking this. I'm loving this. Maybe I need to go to Vegas more often. No? Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. That was a resounding no. Okay. So the quote from Rumi is, out beyond wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And then he continues on to say, when the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. Even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So what is it that Rumi is talking about here? Out beyond wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field that I will meet you there. And that the words, the phrase, even each other, doesn't make sense. Well, what we know here at Centers for Spiritual Living and what we teach is that there is a oneness, there is a wholeness, there is a perfection, that there is only one life, that there simply is this one, yes? And that is all that there is. We heard that through Constance's invocation this morning, that there is just the one life, the one power, the one presence. There is only one. There is only one of us here. Though we are showing up in different individualized expressions of the one. Look around you. Look how beautiful you are. Stunning. You're gorgeous. You're luscious. You're lavish, right? This is just the one life in a multitude of expression. And so there is no duality, there is no rightness, there is no wrongness, there is no wrongdoing, there is no right doing. There is only the activity of the one life, the activity of the divine, the activity of God. And that's the field where we meet each other, where we meet one another by turning and looking and recognizing and seeing the oneness that's inherent within each other. I don't know where I heard it. It was from a friend of mine, and I used this last week. I shared this last week. But spirit individualized as each and every one of us so that spirit would have an idea and be able to know what chocolate tastes like. Without us, spirit wouldn't know what an M&M's tastes like, or dark chocolate, or white chocolate. That's not chocolate, exactly. Or Skittles, right? So if for no other purpose, spirit wanted to know what dark chocolate tastes like. And so it had to create us, each one of us, in order to be able to know that. It created all of life, of all of creation, to experience and know itself, because consciousness has to have something to be conscious of. And so we have evolved in these human forms, we have evolved to a self-awareness, to a self-consciousness where we can be conscious and aware of ourselves and conscious and aware of life as it is and conscious and aware of spirit as it is, as we are. To become conscious and aware and be able to think and feel and express and emote and share and be with one another. So when we are talking about community, when we're talking about coming together in community, and we're looking at this phrase, we're looking at this phrase of, I'll meet you there. What we have the opportunity to do in community when we are, especially when we come together in spiritual community, we have the opportunity to meet one another right where we are. To say, hey, I recognize you. I recognize a part of me that I may not have met yet. I recognize and I see the divine in you. I recognize and see life and spirit and love in you. And in so doing, I become more aware of who I am, of what I am. Not just I, Jeffrey, but I am, the I am. We come to know each other. We come to know life in greater and more expansive ways when we come together in beloved community. And we meet each other here, in this time and in this space. And when we truly meet, when we truly see into one another, into me see, intimacy. When we truly see into one another, we come to know, we come to understand, we come to experience the love that is. We come to experience the freedom that truly is. Because we come to recognize that there is just the one. There is not two. There is no duality. There is no duality. There is nothing and no one other than the one. Yes? So this beloved community, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, we are 79 years young. Woo! Next month, not next week, not next month, next year. There we go. December 1942. In December 2022, we will be 80 years young. That means that we have been serving this community. We have been serving Riverside and the inland valleys for 80 years. We have been showing up as the power and the presence of love in this community for 80 years, in this city, in this region for 80 years. We continue to show up as love. We continue to move love forward. So what can be our legacy? How do we want our legacy to look? What do we envision our legacy to be? We are called to continue to serve. We are called to continue to love. We are called to continue to move out beyond these four walls and to experience and to walk and to lead a city. That's part of the vision that we have here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, that we're an example of what it looks like when people of high consciousness, when people who know that there is only one life happening here, are out in the world, are out in the community, and helping each other lead the community. We've been talking about this all month, yes? Where like Maria is out with her union and helping her union and being the presence of love in her union and help making an impact with not only the work she does as a social worker for Riverside County, but with her union as well. Shawnee is working with different commissions with the city of Riverside. Earl, you heard earlier, is the president of the Riverside African American Historical Society. Allison is out teaching folks how to read. Each of you is out contributing in beautiful, magnificent ways. And it is through this movement in consciousness, it is this moving love forward in your everyday lives outside these walls that we are having an impact. That we are doing what? We are emboldening people to live a higher potential, to live their highest potential. And we're doing it by being the power and the presence of love. This is what we are called to do here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. We are called to be out. We are called to be leading the community in great ways, showing people what's possible in their everyday lives. And the more that we are out doing that work of being, just simply being who we are by example, the more we are out there doing that, the more we are serving our community, the more we are turning within and emboldening ourselves to live our own highest potential, then that becomes like a domino effect, doesn't it? I know almost everybody in this room have had somebody in their life go, "What is it that you're doing? Why are you so happy? Why are you so positive? What is it? There's something about you that I want to know how you're doing. I want to know how it is that you're able to walk in the world. I want to know how it is that you're able to have the perspective that you have on life." And simply sharing that is an amazing thing, yes? It's not about, trying to convert anybody or bring people in. It's about lifting each other up, and that's what spiritual community does. We lift each other up. We support each other. So I've been thinking about this, the I'll meet you there, right? And as we've been thinking about this week and, for the whole month here, I've been hearing a song that I thought the lyric was, "I'll meet you there." And I was searching and searching and searching, and the lyric is not, "I'll meet you there." The lyric is, "I'll take you there." Now you know what it is, right? Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, duh. Okay, yeah, of course. But the whole song says, "I know a place. I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no smiling faces. Lying to the races. I'll take you there." Well, look around you, my beloveds. You're here. So take your friends here too. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no smiling faces, lying to races. Here we tell the truth, don't we? Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. But we tell the truth. And I've been thinking about this in relationship to that. We envision a world that works for all. We envision a world that works for all. That is our vision here at Centers for Spiritual Living. We envision a world that works for all, for everyone in all of creation. I know a place. We can take each other there. We can meet each other there. But how do we do that, my beloveds? How do we do that? We do that by getting out and sharing what it is that we know to be true, that there is only one. We do that by getting out and helping. Well, we do that by first taking responsibility for our own lives, taking responsibility for our own thoughts, taking responsibility for our own actions, taking responsibility for our own habits and behaviors. And then we can go out and help others do the same, emboldening people to live their highest potential. One of the things that I've noticed over the years is that this taking responsibility for our lives, taking responsibility for ourselves, and it has become twisted somewhat over the years in that it becomes well, I'm a self-made person. I have, it's my right. I create my reality. I create my world. And because I can do it, you can do it too, and do it. And that's kind of twisted. It's kind of backwards from the way and the reasoning behind it. Because yes, while we do teach, take responsibility for your life, take responsibility for your actions, take responsibility for your behavior, and that all of the change that we wish to see starts with inside ourselves. It starts with changing who we are. It starts changing in here. The larger lesson is the lesson of oneness. So then the question becomes, why am I changing? Why am I taking 100% responsibility? Why am I doing this work? Is it just solely for my own profit, my own well-being? And if we think that that's where it's at, we've missed the mark. Because in our teaching, it's about oneness. And so the why then is really about each of us doing our part, because that's where it starts, is right here with each of us. Each of us is doing our part, is doing what is necessary to live our highest potential in service to the collective highest potential. In service to the collective good, in service to the communal good. And that is why we take responsibility. It's like that metaphor of how do you clean the neighborhood? Start with your own front porch, right? Start right where you are. Start with your own front porch. Or stoop, or driveway, whatever you got. You start there. And why do you do it? Does it benefit you? Oh, yes, absolutely. My front porch looks great. But the larger reason, the larger call is because we're doing it in service to the beautification of the neighborhood. We're doing it in service to and for the communal good. So it's not about just my benefit. This work that we do in consciousness, this opportunity that we have to be in community, to do this work together in consciousness, isn't just solely that we can drive a brand new car and have a new house and, a prince or a palace or a princess and a parking spot, right? It's not why we do it. That's the added that's the bonus extra. But the reason that we do the work, the reason that we spend so much time in spiritual practice, the reason that we come together in spiritual community this way and to learn and to grow with one another is in service to the higher good, is in service to a world that works for everyone in all of creation. That's why we do it. Now, how we do it and what we do varies. Thank goodness. Right? Because no one of us can do it all. We each have gifts and talents and skill sets. Like I've said before, in the car and at home in the shower, I sound like Michael Gott. I can sing like Michael Gott. Nobody's business. But the minute I get in front of somebody like y'all, that gift just disappears magically. Thank goodness for Jeff and Jabel. You know? Each one of us is here. Each one of us has a gift. Each one of us has a talent. Each one of us has a skill set to bring. And so we have the opportunity to come together and to bring them together, to meet in the field of oneness, to meet in the great beyond, not like, heaven on a cloud, right? But to meet beyond this idea of us and them, this idea of right and wrong, this idea of false separation. Because there is no separation. Spirit is above separation. There may be trouble, there may be conflict, there may be disagreement, there may be discord. But Spirit sees above that. And we have the opportunity to see above that too, when we lift our eyes and see above. You see, we don't deny that appearances are facts. Ernest Holmes says we don't deny that appearances are facts. So there's some stuff in life that we may not like, that we may not agree with, that is truly a problem on this plane of existence. That's true. It's fact. So Ernest Holmes says that we don't deny appearances. We don't deny the facts. What we are invited to do is to not reify them. We don't have to accept pain, suffering as real, as truth. We don't have to accept their necessity in our lives. So while there may be trouble, there may be tribulation, there may be trial, we don't have to accept it as being necessary, as a necessity. Oh, I got this worry, I got this trouble. Well, I must have something to learn in this life. Yeah, we all do. But it does not have to be a necessity. We don't have to make it so that it is like, oh, it's pain and suffering and oh, poor me. What we are invited to do, what Ernest Holmes invites us to do, is to look above it. To accept, yes, I'm experiencing physical pain in my left shoulder right now, but I do not need it. It does not need to be present. It does not need to be here with me now. I can release it now. I accept the fact of it, but it doesn't have to stay. Remember, we walk through the valley. We don't pitch a tent while we're building a condo. And so once again, when we come back to, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. We have the opportunity to lift one another, to remind one another that, well, you're going in one direction, I'm going in another, but you know what? There's only one here. Let me support you on your journey as you support me on mine. Because in spiritual community, there's only the one. We're all on the same side. Yes? We're all on the same side. So how things show up might be different. How we want things might be different from how other people want things. How we express things might be different from how other people express things. But yet, when we show up in spiritual community, we recognize that there is only one and that we're all on the same side. We're all on the same side. And that here at Riverside, CSL, we're on the side of being the power and the presence of love. We're on the side of emboldening each other to live our highest potential. We're on the side of leading a community, leading a city. And so this is what we unite behind. This is what we unite around. How we get there, how we do it, we may disagree. We may have other ideas. But we come together recognizing that there is no right, there is no wrong. There's just a field. And we do it together. We meet each other there. So breathe in nice and deep. And just say, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. One more time. I'll meet you there. So it is. All right, I invite our practitioners and our core council to please stand and surround the sanctuary. These beloveds are in prayer for this community every single day, and they are available for you after service for prayer as well. As Constance mentioned, Shawnee and Constance will be in the prayer room just outside the doors there for a brief moment of prayer. So let's come together in consciousness. I invite you, if you feel comfortable in doing so, to go ahead and please close your eyes. And I recognize that there simply is one. Ooh, the one, the one, the one. Absolute, eternal, infinite. The one life, the one power. The one love that is all, through all, as all, forever expressing, knowing itself as each and every one present here this day, knowing itself as all of life, as all of creation, and knowing chocolate. We celebrate this evening the beauty of Samhain, of that liminal space, that transitional space, recognizing that it too is the action and activity of the divine. The time of year when the veil seems thin. The time of year when hope and new possibility are present. Because hope and possibility are ever present, always present. For spirit itself is forever expressing itself through itself, as itself in all of creation, as all of creation. And so I align myself with this high idea right here and right now. I recognize that I am one with the one, that the very essence of who I am is spirit made manifest. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation, of everyone present here to this day. Each one is a divine emanation and impartation of the one life. Each one is a divine manifestation and expression of this one life. Living, moving, breathing, and having its being in, through, and as itself, showing up in individuated form. And so I speak my word for this beloved community, this community that is now 79 years young, that continues to do the great and high work of being a leader in our larger community, of emboldening people to live their highest potential, of meeting each other and meeting people right where they are, right where they're at, in that unified field of consciousness, in that unified field of oneness, where words fall away, where ideas fall away, where the phrase each other simply falls away. And there is just a felt sense, a felt knowingness of our oneness with life, of our knowingness with creation, of our knowingness with, yes, that phrase, each other. And it is in this knowing that we experience love. It is in this knowing that we experience freedom. And it is in this place, it is from this place that we express it out into a greater yet to be. Sharing it, being it, moving it forward, shining a light so that others may join us on this path. This path of oneness, this path of wholeness, this path of love, this path of freedom. How beautiful it is to be standing at this time in our beloved community where change continues, where evolution continues, where we continue to move love forward in new and greater and more expressive ways as each one of us, as life and as love itself. And so I am thankful for this beloved community, this spiritual home. I am thankful for each one who has ever walked through the doors. I am thankful for the ancestors. And I am thankful for the generations yet to be. And I am thankful for each one here now, knowing that all of it is love, knowing all of it is present in the eternal now. I simply give thanks. And I release this word, assured of its fulfillment, because it already is done. I let it be, and so it is.
Love